All right. Hi, how's it going? Welcome to the Exodus Travels Agent Training. I'm hoping for the next 20 to 25 minutes, just give you a nice little quick summary and synopsis on what Exodus Travels does, and you'll be a lot more confident selling our wonderful product to your great clients. So this is me, Tony. I am in charge of Eastern Canada. So if you're between Ontario to the Maritimes, feel free to reach out to me. Here's my contact information. If you happen to live between BC and Manitoba, we have two wonderful reps out there, and here's their contact information. But between the three of us, feel free to reach out to any of us. We're more than happy to help you. And that's what we love doing, helping wonderful agents selling some great adventure travel. Spoiler alert, I did mention adventure travel because that is what we do. So Exodus, since 1974, crafting small group adventure travel. Currently, we're doing more than 600 itineraries around the world, visiting over 100 countries, and the list will go and grow as time goes on. So we are the world leader in active travel, and that is because we're offering a lot of great hiking, walking, and cycling itineraries. So active travel is what we're known for. It's very synonymous with Exodus, right? But otherwise, we are less active itineraries as well, such as cultural trips, family trips, and so on, which I'll go into details later on. So for the last 43 years, Exodus has been crafting beautiful small group adventure travel. Everything that we do is with a responsible travel mindset, right? So we have a dedicated department over in the head office, which is in London, the UK, and we make sure that any trip that we do will have a nice long-term economical benefit to the community. So we realize that every destination is someone else's home, and we should leave the place as we would like to find them, if not in a better spot for sure. And we need to make sure that the communities benefit from our visits. So you can get a lot more information about all the projects that we get involved with, because in 2015 and 16, we raised over $800,000 in some of these projects that are in Asia and Africa. And we do that because we partner up with the Friends of Conservation or the Galapagos Conservation Trust, for example. So a lot more information online about responsible travel, but please know that every single trip that we have is with that. Is it responsible travel? Are we going to leave the place in a much better spot than we found it? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, let's continue. So that's the way we are. This right here is over in the Himalayas, and we installed a nice little solar panel here, and of course this will power up their hot water supply. They will power the community here and so on, and just something that we do as much as possible, right? So we know that all our clients love this, interaction with locals. And how we do that? How do we do that? Well, I'll tell you in a second, but it's great for us because we have a small group, and you're able to go into the tea houses, you're able to go, homestays, and, have your one-on-one with people. I think something for me that's very important is because I mentioned it's a small group, so we're able to do that as opposed to having a big coach bus and just seeing all the tourist sites and, okay, let's go home. So small groups, this is how small they are. Maximum 16 for the majority of our tours. The odd tour will be a maximum 12 or 13, and the very odd one will be 18. But for the majority of them will be maximum 16, with an average being 12, which is quite nice. The average age for our clients is 53, and we're looking at a nice little, 50-50 split between couples or people that know each other and solo travelers. And out of those solo travelers, about 2/3 happen to be females. So anytime you want to find out the specific age of any of these clients that we have on our tours, you can call our reservation number. We can ask, hey, on this tour, October for the Amalfi Coast, who's already on the tour, we can share. We got 4 people between 40 and 50. We got 6 between 50 and 60, etc., etc. So that we can tell you. Now, another great way to get you to interact locally with the community is that all our tours are going to be led by, the majority of them are going to be led by local leaders with local knowledge. So every year, we always ask our clients, please vote for your favorite trip leader and your favorite team. So this is Roshan in Sri Lanka, and that team won and was voted like the best team that we have out there. So, and our winners for best trip leaders, one was Justin from Tanzania, and the other one's Marinella from Italy. So you can ensure that we will deliver great service by having local guides with us. And these local guides will be, some Egyptologists, mountaineers, you're going to have wildlife specialists and so on. So quality is what we're going to deliver for sure. So this is who's taking you out from A to B. But where are we spending the night? So we have our accommodations range from everything from, camping trips, let's say on the Inca Trail, or some trips in Africa where you can just do a little camping. Simple as that. But if you don't like that, we have other trips that use mostly 3 to 4-star accommodations, and those will be ranging from hotels, auberts, converted farmhouses. We even have some wonderful, premium safari lodges. You can see them here. Even some homestays. So wherever we go, we always try to use locally owned, authentic accommodation, right? And that, for me, is what makes the trip a massive highlight, as opposed to staying in this big, 20-story hotels and no one knows anybody and so on. We always use small little accommodations. So that's why we always limit our groups to 16. All right. So here's another nice little picture of some of the accommodations we use, but I like videos. So this is one in Tuscany. This is a agriturismo, a converted farmhouse that we use. So nice little pool run by families. We've been using this property now for 15 years. And what I can tell you is on some trips, some destinations, we'll use these properties during the summer, and in the winter we might flip them and use them for winter trips because we have those as well. So the right trip for you. This is great. I myself would like to climb Kili at some point in my life. I'm not going to kid you. That's something that I really want to do. But I don't know if I'm there yet. So we have fitness plans that will make sure that I get to climb Kili and so on. So those are available for you. You can download them, share them with your clients. But we also have, like I said, some destination guides as well for those people that I don't know what Mont Blanc is. I've never heard of that before. What is it? We have those guides that you can learn how we do Mont Blanc, because we do it in 6 different ways, and you can pass that information as well to your clients. So we on every trip that we do, we're always going to tell you, we're going to rate the tour for you, and we're also going to tell you in terms of the active, cycling or walking, how many kilometers you'll be walking today, how many hours is that, and I'll show you that in a second. So in terms of how we do our trips, we have a couple great ways to do it. So we have a center-based holiday. So what that means is, how you have the cruise people that don't like this kind of group tours and don't like to tour around because you're always 1 night here, then 2 nights here, and 1 night here, and 2 nights. Oh, I don't want to unpack. I don't want this. We have a solution for them. So this is a center-based holiday. So we'll use this property, for example, for the entire 7 nights. So they don't have to unpack, and we'll explore the whole region. We'll go for a nice little hike tomorrow. We'll come back, spend the night in the same hotel. The next day, we'll go and do something else, come back to the same hotel. So that is a center-based holiday for you, okay? And another way to do it is point-to-point. Pretty self-explanatory. 1 night here, 2 nights here, 3 nights here, 1 night here, 1 night here, etc., etc. So we have those types of trips for you, center-based and point-to-point. Now, I mentioned to you, we like to make things very easy for you, and how we do that is that we grade every single tour, because we have everything from a leisure, from a one, anybody with a heartbeat and feet could do this tour, to a little bit more challenging, you're climbing a little bit of mountains down in the Andes in Peru, to now you're heading a little bit serious to Kilimanjaro, all the way finishing off in your Everest. So we have everything from very easy to you should be on TV, because that is phenomenal what you'll be doing. So if you haven't picked up any of our brochures, here they are. Feel free to shoot me an email and I'll send them off to you. So the 2 blue ones are active one, and the one right in the middle is a cultural trip. So beautiful brochures, really nicely done. So in terms of walking, as I said, we've been our first ever trip that we did back in '74. We went all the way to Himalayas and we did our first trekking trip. So we've been doing this for 43 years. What I can tell you is I want to pick the most popular trip that we have here is the Amalfi Coast. And the reason why we do this is because I want to show you what the walking profile is in the center-based holiday. So this is a center-based holiday, meaning that you'll fly into Naples and you head down towards Bomerano, and that's where we spend the 7 nights at a beautiful hotel, and I'll show you that in a second. So this is the walking profile I was talking to you about. So every walking or cycling trip, we tell you, day 1, you're walking this much. Day 2, you're doing this. Day 5, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see the number of kilometers and approximately what pace, because, well, I don't know what 15 kilometers means. I can do that in either 4 hours or 12 days. I have no idea. We tell you that for you. So something good about this tour as well is that out of the 6 days we're together on the tour, 4 of those days we're doing something. We're going to the Amalfi, coming back here. We're going to Positano, come back. And then we give you 2 free days. So if you want to go to Capri or if you want to go to Pompeii, you absolutely can. You want to go to Naples? No worries. 2 free days, and 4 we're doing stuff together. Even if you can't participate one day because it's too hot or you're not feeling too great, don't worry. Same hotel, which is this one right here, and we'll come back and see you after we're done for a walk. So center-based holiday, it's a great introduction, a great way to get people from the cruise world into this nice little soft adventure or what have you, right? So we'll spend the 7 nights in this beautiful hotel here. Another popular thing that we've seen is a lot of these walking in wine tours. So this is one of the most popular ones we launched this year, is walking the Prosecco Hills. And for this one here, we stay in this wonderful village called Soligo, nestled right in between the 2 Prosecco regions. And this is the hotel that we use, a nice little 4-star premium hotel. So because we have regular tours and then we have premium tours. So this is a premium tour, and we'll have the description on the hotels right here for you, 4-star location, beachfront property, spa, rooftop, and what have you. So that's the beautiful thing about some of the trips that we have. So those are the couple examples of center-based holidays. And then when it comes to point, of course, now we're talking something serious here, heading to Everest, 1 night here, then you're climbing, you're heading up, and so on. And another very popular one is going climbing Kilimanjaro. So we do that quite a bit. So center-based or point-to-point, we have that for you. Anything that's easy, the Amalfis, the Italys, anybody can do, to, wow, you are going to be very famous. So just your hiking and walking stuff. Now, on 2 wheels, cycling, so popular, and it's going to continue to be very popular with everybody here. So for that, we have everything, like I said to you, from something that's very, very, very easy, and I'll show you that in a second, to some of the extreme ones that we have. But on any guided cycling trip, we always give you vehicle support. So if you're not feeling good that day, or I don't want to go up that hill and so on, feel confident knowing that you're going to be in the back of the van pretty shortly. So that's where you can put all the luggage and everything with you and off. Let's enjoy the day cycling and so on, right? So for all the guided cycling trips, we do have vehicle support, which is quite nice. Now, in some trips in Europe, we will have an e-bike option. So you can rent an additional charge, and you can charge it like a USB, like your phone, right? So one trip that you can have the option to do that will be this one here, the premium tour. So you saw the description of the hotels we use, the rooftop, patio, and what have you. This is one of the more popular ones that we have, Porto down to Lisbon. So Portugal this year has been going so great for us. So we have the premium tours, and then some regular ones being, and then another hot seller for us is cycling Cuba. Everybody wants to go to Cuba, and why not do a cycling? So we have a 15-day and an 8-day one. Another popular one is Central America. So cycling Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. The good thing about this one is that you get to see 3 countries, and you'll do some cycling and some transfers, driving from A to B. So that's the beautiful thing about these trips. Some ones that are a bit new, we decided this year to go Finland and do some riding on bikes in the winter, and this is how we do it. So fat bikes, the fat tires. We launched 1 departure, sold out in 30 minutes. Launched a second one that sold out within 2 days. We launched 6, and they all sold out. Next year we're going to have a lot more, and hopefully include Iceland as another destination for this fat biking. We already have 11 trips in Iceland, so that will be a great way to complement this. So something else that we do is a bit different, cycling Madagascar or cycling places like Bhutan, where very few tourists go. Now, having said that, do you know what the #1 destination for cycling will be? I'll give you a hint. It's not Europe. It's Vietnam. So that's our #1 trip. Something that's very popular about this one, the flat, the country is very flat. You don't have to worry about that. But what makes it so great is that when we're all cycling together, we're not going all along the big highway and that's all we're driving. Oh, look at this. No, but sometimes we're going to veer off and go through the villages in the side road, parallel to the train line, for example, and then we'll go off and the kids will come out and give us a big hug and, oh, look at all you guys on the bikes and whatever. It's such a great experience to do that, right? All these videos that I'm showing right now come from our YouTube channel. So this is just a little bit of a glimpse of our cycling Southern Iceland trip that a few of us have done. And in Iceland, this year has just been blowing up. And I said, we already have 11 trips. Hopefully we'll be introducing a lot more next year. So, check out our YouTube channel whenever you have a chance, because we have a lot of great videos, not both accommodations and the actual trips themselves, right? So those are the active stuff. So hiking, walking, and your cycling. And for the less active crowd, we have these, that other brochure, the cultural and wildlife. We have cultural trips. So again, led around by local guides from A to B, and most of the time you'll be transported from, in private vehicles. Sometimes, like this trip, you'll have internal flights. Well, it's not a good private flight, it's a regular scheduled flight. But Fact is that you'll be taken around from A to B with a local guide, great knowledge, and learn all about the country and the history and the food and what are all these temples and why does everybody sleep at 2? I don't understand this country. That's what the guide's for. So by the time you leave our cultural trips, you'll have a nice little understanding of how the country runs. So another popular ones for us is the Central Peru. Something different that I want to show you that we do is when we go to Machu Picchu, let's say today, we'll take the train, we'll go to Aguascalientes, we'll take the bus up to Machu Picchu, we'll spend the day. A lot of tour operators go back that same afternoon. After you've done the tour of Machu Picchu, you'll take the train at 5 o'clock and back to Cusco. Not us. We'll spend the night in Aguascalientes because the next day we'll give you the free pretty much morning and afternoon for you to go back up to Machu Picchu. So you could go back to Machu Picchu twice within a 24-hour period, which is always quite nice. So cultural trips. And something else that falls with the cultural trips, of course, is food adventures. We all love food, and I think it's good for us, right? So whether it's in South Korea or Thailand or, Italy, we have these wonderful trips. So not just, hey, somebody's going to come in and just cook for you and just eat and take pictures and, hopefully you get 40 likes. We're going to go to the market. We're going to show you what that thing is, because when I see this, I don't know, is this a fruit? I have no idea what it is. We'll bring it back to the kitchen. We'll shave it. We'll cook it, and we'll get your hands dirty. You'll cook. You'll flip. You'll enjoy it. And by the time you leave, like, what a phenomenal meal that was, right? This one is very cool too because of course you'll go and see the wonderful wine that's in Italy. You can't beat that. Regions. We'll go to a Parmesan cheese factory, but also we'll go truffle hunting. So anything to do with food, this is the Food Valley here itself. We will make sure that we get that taken care of for you. So on our cultural trips, you'll find food trips, festivals, wildlife, family trips. You'll also find some multi-activity as well, like picture going to Costa Rica where one day you're cycling, the next day you're rafting, the next day you're zip lining, and so on. And those multi-activity ones can be done for just adults, but also for families. And of course, in that big brochure, that big, thick culture and wildlife, where you'll find some polar trips again in winter, and the list goes on, right? So those are guided group stuff. But now it's a huge growing trend is people will like to do things themselves. So we have self-guided holidays. The majority of these are going to be done in Europe. We do have a couple over in the Caribbean, but for the majority of these are going to be done in Europe. So the 3 ways we do the self-guided ones are going to be cycling and walking and family holidays, right? So for the family holiday ones, I said this is such a great way for the family to go together at your own pace, because it takes sometimes. So I hear it takes a long time to get these kids running and ready, right? So you got your own pace. You have nothing to worry about. We have those self-guided family trips, but we also have regular guided family trips. So your call. You choose the bike that you want to go on. For example, on the cycling one, which is quite great, you can choose sometimes an e-bike option. Your call. If you have those people that need to know what bike are you using on this specific trip, we have that information for you. So in terms of support, well, it's a self-guided itinerary, so there's no guide with you, but you do have a 24 support line, so you give us a call whenever you want. But you're going to get a huge comprehensive package. This comprehensive package will have everything from maps to notes. This is kind of what it looks like. Like today, you'll be cycling, you'll be doing this, you'll be doing that. And as you can see from this next slide, it's like, well, this will tell you, so, 33, it's just 30 kilometers, whatever. Today, you will need map 1, you'll need map 2, you'll do this, you'll do that. Bottom line is, we don't want anyone calling us, like a month from now saying, I just did your trip and it didn't make sense and this and that. Complaints, we don't, complaints is not something that we ever look forward to. So we make things very easy for everybody here. So a couple of great self-guided itineraries that we have, very popular, doing the Camino de Santiago, the Way of St. James. Right? You can do that guided, you can do a self-guided, but you can also cycle it. So we're all full of options. You've caught on to this, right? Of course, the River Chateau in the Loire Valley. Nothing wrong with seeing chateaus along the way. There's over 300 of these beautiful castles all along the Loire River, which is nice. So for these self-guided itineraries, you're going to have nice standard hotel, and these are always going to be on request, okay? Because we make sure that all the hotels taken care of, and then we just go ahead and say, yes, you're good to go. What happens to your luggage? Because I have a suitcase and I can't cycle with a suitcase. I can't do that anymore. we transport your luggage from A to B, so you don't have to worry about that. We take care of all your logistics. All you need to do is make sure you are either cycling or walking today to the next destination, because that's where your luggage is waiting for you, right? So, and next year we're going to be launching, we already have 2 bike and boat trips, but next year we'll be launching a lot more, you know, over in Europe, because they seem to be very popular. And just this what we consider self-guided, because, well, you spend the whole time in that boat, and then once the boat reaches over to a port, grab your bike, go explore the day. We'll meet you in about 3-4 hours. Beautiful. So that cultural trip, like I said to you, we have another great, wonderful itineraries. The self-guided stuff that I'm talking about is very well described on both brochures, whether it's the cycling or the walking, right? So we've done some cultural talk, some cycling talk, we've got some trekking talk, and please know that in terms of wildlife, we have a lot of great, wonderful trips. If you ever want to do this and encounter the gorillas in Rwanda or Uganda, we can do that for you. Pretty much think of any animal, you know, the Galapagos, heading over to Africa. We have so many great wildlife trips, right? So one that I absolutely love is In Search of the Snow Leopard. So imagine flying over to the Dak Mountains and trekking for 5 days at a very cold temperature, because you're going to be trekking the snow leopard, like Planet Earth style. We have a whole range of tours, which is so wonderful. So check out our wildlife trips that we have, because I'm sure people love it, and that's something that's growing more and more each year. As people want to go see the orangutans, and they want to go see more an interaction with nature, and this is a popular way to do it. I already mentioned to you about families, so the question is, what's the minimum age? Well, we have a lot to choose from, and I'll show you that. So from 5, 8, 12, or 13. And of course, some more winter trips, like I said to you. But there's no talk for that right now because we're in Canada and it's pretty cold. So what I wanted to do is just to show you our website really briefly. And this here, I'll just pull up our website. So this is the ExodusTravels.com right here. So when you come to our website, you can search by either putting in the trip code here itself, or just any word, you know, Prosecco or what have you. You got that there for you. You can choose by destination, the countries, or by theme. So walking trips, and then you say, hey, I want to know what center-based trips you have, because I really enjoyed what you were talking about. You can choose for that right here. Or I want to do some wildlife walks. Imagine heading over to Africa and you're walking in national parks, seeing zebras beside you. There's no predators. Relax. Everybody survives, right? So snowshoeing, the list goes on. So walking and then cycling. And this is how you find out which trips are going to be premium, which ones are going to be self-guided, etc. So mixed activity as well. You know, these are private, because we also have private trips, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. So winter, and here's the family stuff, right? So what's the minimum age? Just based on what it is here. Cultural trips, and of course wildlife. So that's how you pretty much maneuver around our website. So I just chose the walking one. So there's 160 of them here for you. So you can do them by the grid, or you can choose by map and highlights and so on. The list goes on and on. So that's our trekking trips, cycling trips, like I said to you, culturals. And this one is great because you can choose by region, how you want to do even festival departures or what have you. So it's nice. Our mixed activity trip, like I said, all 18 of them right here. Now, what I want to do is I just picked a random trip that I like, the Vietnam Adventure, and this I want to show you right now. When you go on our website, you'll see all of this, which is our reviews. We don't edit any reviews, and we're getting 4.7 out of 5 in 40 years of operating. I think that's a pretty good rating, to be honest with you. So all the trips will have the reviews, will have the activity level. Is this like a 1 or a 7 or a 9? Is this a guided tour or self-guided? That's the answer for you. What's the minimum age, date, and prices, and so on. As you scroll down, you're going to have a chance to have a nice little glance. Hey, where am I spending the night? The hotels and what have you. How am I getting around from A to B? That's all right here for you. So as you scroll down, you'll get a nice little itinerary, and this is just very brief. I don't know how more information. Just click right here on the show detail, and it will show all the details there for you. So like that. There you go. As you scroll down, you'll get a lot of this, what's included and what's not included. But this is where things get really nice for me, is because we'll actually show you some pictures of the hotels that we do, and we'll give you a little description right here, where we're spending the nights, what are we doing, and so on. But the reviews, let's click here. You see all the reviews here that are done for people. We don't edit them. Simple as that. Again, 4.7 for the last 43 years. Pretty good. And as you go to dates and prices, this is what I want to show you. So this is all done in Canadian dollars. So this is land only. No flights included. You'll see here something like a solo departure, and encouraging solo travelers to book on this tour, so you'll be surrounded by solo travelers. But this is how you find out, hey, which trip is guaranteed, Tony? I don't understand. So we'll have an option here called available, and then we have this one called available and guaranteed. So that's how you can tell which ones are going to be guaranteed or not. So that's that. Now, I did mention the private groups, right? So we do have a private groups department where you can tweak the itinerary just a little bit here and there. We're not an FIT. We're not just going to, oh, I want 2 days in Disney and I want 3 days in Paris and then this trip. No, no. We'll take an existing itinerary. We can tweak it a little here and there. And you can have your own private group. So if you need more information for that, just click on the private adventures and you'll see that right there for you. So something that I want to show you is the trip notes, because a lot of people is like, I want to have something to download or to read later. If you click on the download trip notes, you'll get this right here, and this here will have a lot more information for you. So this is a quite wonderful. I said this is huge. This is going to be 11 pages of just this trip here itself. Now, lastly is I want to show you this, because when we head down towards the dates and prices at the very bottom, see more pictures and so on, I want to show you something very different, which is this. When you go to some tours, we'll have some trips that are regular departed trips, 3-star hotels all across the board. We'll see some departures that are premium, but we'll also see some that are themed with either festivals or even an actual pushcart festival itself. So bottom line is that we're always doing something great, and we want to make sure that you get the most out of your trip when you're abroad, right? So back to the wonderful, wonderful presentation we're talking about. Just a couple more minutes here before I finish off with you is this. Why Exodus? So again, we've been around for 43 years. We have a whole wide range of itineraries that fits, to cover every single type of budget, all in fitness. So 600 trips plus, right? We are the world's leading operator when it comes to hiking and biking. No doubt about that. And very responsible in every matter. We give 15% commission on our tours. We have some transferable deposits and also some great agent rewards as well. Let me tell you that in a second. But also we have great loyalty program for your clients as well. So that encourages them to book with you again and again. Okay, and in terms of the agent, what's in it for me, Tony? Let's talk about this. Well, simple. Sell one person onto our tour and you'll get yourself a nice 50% off any trip except for Polar. But you get to sell one, get 50% off any of our trips pretty much, right? Companions, yes, we give them 30% off. And the minute you make 10 bookings, then you can go for free on any of our tours. So if you got more questions about that, feel free to give me an email and I'll explain more to you. So again, Exodus, 600 plus trips in over 100 countries in all 7 wonderful continents, and this is how we do it. So as of right now, we have a great, great contest happening, the Life of Exodus. We've picked out about 30 plus tours where you choose 3, and if your name gets drawn, you get to do 1 trip every year for life, or 25 years. There you go. Okay, if you have any questions, you know that you can reach out to me. You saw my information here, but you also can send an email out to this, agents@exodustravels.com. Give us a call. We're more than happy to help. So thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, and keep traveling, people. Anything that we can do for you, we're here for you. Take good care of yourselves, and thank you once again.